Hello, everybody. This is Leskor. Welcome back to FS22 Bloomfield, Canada. Um, if you watched the last episode, we left off with a lot of plowing to do. I did plow that first field that I was working on. You'll notice I am not plowing now. The first field that I was working on, I did finish the whole thing. It took probably about 2 hours real time to finish. Um, the field that I finished was not the field where I borrowed the equipment on, so I was able to collect it already, which you can see we're up to $23,000. So what I decided to do is bring the plow over to the other field that the other contract that I accepted, get that kind of going. I put a worker on that, so he or she is over there working on that now, which is why you can see my money going down a little bit. And in that time, there were a few contracts that showed up. So you can see I have a trailer. I'm driving over to another field contract that I picked up. There's a bunch of harvesting canola contracts, so I picked up two of them. There was another that came up after I picked these two up that I'm not sure if I'm going to do or not. It's a bigger field. These two were relatively small. Um, Kind of doable with you know a decent size harvester. Um, so yeah, I have someone working on the field now while I bring this cart over. Let's see how full he is. Oh, not even halfway. Got plenty of time to go. So yeah, there's right in front of me. That's the field that I plowed. The worker's over there, still working in this field. Probably not too far in that. I wouldn't guess no more than like 20%. Yeah, only 11. So actually, while I'm here, I do have the Better Contracts mod downloaded. So you can see there's a lot more kind of interesting information with the contracts. You can kind of set certain um, settings here to see how you want it to set up. So kind of what I did was just standard reward. I kind of kept that the same. I upped the amount that I can have at one time. The base game, it's 3. I just put it on 10. I don't anticipate ever going up to 10, but just in case, I put it up there. And then one other cool feature is you can see down here there's a discount. So once you do, like, say, Kevin Floydson, so once I finish the contract for him, you can see the job's completed. I already did one for him. It'll give me I believe it's, yes, 5% discount per contract completed, up to a total of 50%. So if I go to buy a certain piece of land that he owns, I get a discount for it because I did contracts for him. So yeah, like this one right now, obviously because I'm doing the contract there, if I wanted to buy that, you can see down there, there's a 5% discount for the total value of that. So, so that's that mod. I thought that was kind of a cool feature to add into the contracts to make them a little bit more worth it, possibly a little more realistic, because you would think if you do, a contract for somebody, they would give you a little bit of a discount on things. So the only difference is every time you log off, who owns that field changes. So, like, let's say if I wanted to get this field 35 and logged off and logged back on, might not be owned by him anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. But I have a feeling it'll kind of. I'm not really going to go after any specific contracts because they're owned by a certain person. We're just kind of play it how it goes and see if I get a nice discount from somebody. So, all right, so let's see. He's about halfway. I think I'm going to take over just so I'm not sitting here where all the workers are doing my work for me. So I think I mentioned last time my goal, kind of my thought for this series, is to do dairy, cows specifically. I was looking through some of the mods that are out there, that I could, kind of expand upon it a little bit. So obviously, like I said, I'm going to do cows, and I'm going to do the dairy, which will have, you can bring your milk there to make cheese, chocolate, and I can't remember the third one. So obviously, for something like chocolate, you need sugar as well. I've thought potentially of doing sugarcane. Um, I have done it very shortly once before. I know it is not the favorite amongst people to do sugarcane, and I didn't really have that great of a time with it. But there are some mods out there that make it a little bit more manageable, um, to where, because the problem is the the normal sugarcane harvesters only do one row at a time. You can imagine on a big field that could take a very, very long time. So, but there's some mods out there that have wider, width harvesters that you can do for sugarcane. So I was thinking about trying that, instead of doing the whole sugar beet route. But I may change my mind. We'll see once we get to that point. But anyways, back to the mods I was looking at. So after the dairy, there was a mod for flavored milks. So you can make. Actually, let me put a worker on this. I can show you. So if we go to construction, production, should be all the way at the end. Here it is, flavored milks. So you can make what's that? There's a chocolate one, an oat one, strawberry one, and a soy milk. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I think I'm gonna, invest in that. And then the other one, which I'm not seeing here. Oh yeah, it's right here. Ice cream. So it's just simple. Nothing. You don't need any of these special mix for this ice cream. It's just, all in-game stuff. I have to put down a greenhouse for both of these to get some strawberries. And then I'm gonna have to do, some bees at some point to get the honey. But other than that, those two are pretty simple. Don't take up too much space, and you can see there's two, things of ice cream there, that I get from that. And with the ice cream pack, there's actually a specific selling point. Actually, both of them have specific selling points, so I'll probably be picking those up. Luckily, they don't cost too much money, and putting them somewhere. My actual thought, so I don't know if I think I mentioned this last time. I'm planning on buying, actually, I can do it right now, but this little plot of land as kind of a start to put my tent on, sleep there, beginning in the game. Instead of selling that off later, I can kind of use that as the area for my either productions or sell points. So that's kind of my thought there. Um, I know that's way down the road, but it is kind of, I think it's really fun to kind of have a plan like that going in when you have literally nothing, and just kind of seeing how it develops over time, and how you kind of like build the farm up and get there. So yeah, that's the plan. Just checking on everyone, seeing how they're doing. Should probably get to work myself, pick up some of this grain. So after this field, um, all the way at the top of the map is the other field that I accepted to harvest. Um, I think it's actually one of the fields you start with if you do the new farmer. So that's kind of like the easy mode. You start with a decent amount of land and some animals and stuff. I think it's up in that direction at least. I think it's one that you start with. Um, so it's up here, field 2. So it's right there is the starting farm. So decent size. So we should be able to get a good harvest from that, and obviously sell the extra and make a little bit extra money from that. So they all go to the oil mill too. So once the drop off for this contract is done, it'll just automatically start the next one and sell everything off at the end when we're done with both of them. So, and I think after these 3, I should be pretty set for the month. I was looking, so fertilizing are usually contracts you get the most bang for your buck for. They don't take too much time, and you get pretty good money from them. The issue with this mod is you can see this one's, it says any type of fertilizer, but the equipment that it's giving you is for slurry, which I actually don't know if you can buy, but I don't know of any. You might be able to buy some at the animal dealer, but it's not easy to buy. And then same with this. This is a manure spreader. So I would have to, I think, actually, I'm going to check that. I think you can buy them at the animal dealer. There's manure. Okay, so you cannot. You can just sell them. So yeah, I don't have obviously any animals, so I don't have any of that available to do. So those contracts wouldn't really help me that much. This is a bigger field of canola that I thought about potentially trying. If we need the money, I guess we could do this one. I just kind of want to limit to 2. I don't want to do too many harvesting contracts because they do take a decent amount of time. Obviously, there's a lot of plowing on here too, but after doing that one field, I'm kind of over the plowing already. So yeah, I think we're just gonna stick with this one. There's also a cultivating one. Pretty big equipment. I actually didn't look at that. Field 35, so it's up there on towards the top right. I think I'm gonna hold off on that one as well too. So yeah, I think we're just gonna stick with what we got. Should have plenty of money to at least buy that land, put the tent down, and kind of go from there. The used store has some actually decent equipment. I could use probably both of these, but I don't think I'm going to get, unless I do all those contracts I just mentioned, I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near that kind of money at this time. So yeah, just going to take over again, keep going on the harvesting, and I think I'm going to put a quick skip and maybe bring you guys back in once I'm delivering my first set of grain from this field. So see you in a second. Welcome back, everybody. We just finished up harvesting this first field, 55. Did not completely fully finish, or sorry, fill up the trailer. I have the harvester currently going up to the other field, and I think I'm just going to go drop this off before we head up. There's no real sense in driving it all the way up there just for 11% more. So we'll drop this off, see how much of the next contract we get done with what's left here, and go from there. The plowing, I just checked on it. It's probably about half done. Actually, I can check on it again. Oh, staying corrected. The field looked like it was half done, but I guess the does have that little extra long area that I didn't account for, so yeah, still got a little bit extra time on that. It'll most likely be done by the time we're done harvesting this field, though. Ooh. Trying not to crash into the other drivers. Alright, so most of the places to sell are kind of in this southeastern, I guess. Yeah, southeastern kind of area of the map. You can see all the blue dots down there. There's some at the north too. But yeah, so we're taking this over to the oil mill, which I already checked is down here. Yeah, let's see what we get. The nice thing about that contract mod too is it kind of gives you info on not only how much money you're making, but it gives you info on how long it could take. Kind of like a money per hour kind of thing, so you can kind of use that to decide, which contracts are worth the time, which are not. I didn't use it before I picked the first 3 contracts in the last episode, but I think moving forward, at least for the next few episodes, I think it'll be good to kind of determine what's worth our time and what's not. Okay, where is it at? There we go. Kind of at the edge of the map here. Okay. Yeah, so I forgot about that. Sometimes, depending on the order you pick up the contracts, which I believe I got Field 2 second. No, I got Field 2 first, because that's where this, I leased the equipment for Field 2, and that's what I'm currently using. So since I got it first, when I drop off, since they were both going to the same place, it drops off for Field 2 first. So it's no real big deal. I just have to wait to collect the other one, or essentially be using the crop from each field for the other field, but in the end, ends up being the same. Actually, I'm going to pull off to this side real quick. Yep, I had a feeling. Cannot trust anyone to do their job. Now, the AI in this game is a little funky sometimes. They don't do turns very well, and I don't know. I just had a feeling that they were stuck somewhere. Looks like I'm going to run into my other worker doing the plowing on the field. The cars always stop for the AI workers. They don't stop for me, though. It's kind of a annoying kind of thing. Cars always stop for the other AIs. They don't stop for the real humans. Guess it's easier to program where they are and everything for the AIs. Us humans are unpredictable. So yeah, here's my plot of land. I think I showed it last time. This is what I'm hopefully going to be buying here soon. Kind of starting the farm out there. The nice thing about this map is when you buy a plot of land that has a house on it, at least I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure it gives you a sleep trigger. So you can kind of, buy a new plot of land with a house on it and use that as your house. Which we are planning on doing once I get to that point. I think what I'm going to do right out of the gate is put the tent in a corner of that plot and just kind of mow, well, buy a mower, of course, and then mow just the regular grass that happens to be growing there. I don't think I'm going to bother making a field out of it. And I really don't plan or expect to get too much grass from that mow anyways. But I'm going to need a mower at some point, so might as well try to get, something out of nothing to lower my need for doing contracts just a little bit. Okay, so we're coming up on field 2. You can kind of see it up there in the distance. I think field 13 available. I don't know if it is or not. I don't think it is. It's ready to harvest for sure. I'm sure it'll come available maybe later on in the day. But yeah, like I said, I think after the contracts I have right now, I might call it a day there, and move on to September, just kind of for a change in pace. September 2 will also start the 2-day months, since it never starts on the first month that you start. So that'll be nice too. The contracts will be a little bit more spread out to where, you don't have to do them all super slow speed. I was going to say, this is the contract I picked, right? Yeah. Alright. Get that guy going. He's still good. Drive this guy up there. Should hopefully take a little less time, because this is a little faster. This map is it just gets me. It's so deceivingly big. It doesn't seem that big when you kind of look at the top-down view, the map view. But then you start to drive it, and it's probably partially the slow speeds, but it just takes a long time to get up to that corner. Which is kind of why I'm glad I'm not doing the start from scratch up there in the corner, or sorry, not start from scratch, the new farmer. The easy mode, essentially. That's where you would start, so every single thing I bought, I'd have to drive all the way up there. As opposed to the farm I'm looking at, which is just right up here, so it would be considerably less time, when I make all those inevitable purchases that I'll be making. One thing I think I forgot to mention last time, there is let's see if I can open up the menu without crashing, if I can get straight here. There is a different crop calendar than the one that in the base game. So one of the major difference, they've lengthened some of them. You can see sorghum 2 months longer at the planting and the harvesting, and the wheat, barley, and canola you can actually plant in the spring, which is more realistic. A lot of actual farmers plant in the spring, rather than over the winter. Over the winter is definitely a thing, but I would say they're definitely both used heavily. So, but yeah, that must be more of a thing here in Bloomfield, or here in Canada. I don't know if Bloomfield's actually based on a real place or not, but Canada for sure is real. So yeah, a nice custom crop calendar. Maybe by the time we get there, there will be a load ready for us. Looks like he's already done a few passes from what I can see from here. So, trying my best to stay to the roads as much as possible. Sometimes I get in the habit of just, I'll just cut through all these farmers' fields. But I don't really want to stay in the habit of that. So, or take the roads. Makes it a little bit more clean of a drive too. A little more realistic, I suppose. Alright, perfect setup for me to, as I cut through a field. It's grass field, it's fine. Perfect setup for me to drive along here and pick up a load. Well, that's interesting. So the starting farm is supposed to be right here. Must be the only farm on the map that if you don't start on New Farmer, the buildings aren't there. That's interesting. So I guess you could buy it and kind of make your own, have your own setup and everything for it. There's a pig pen that's supposed to go right there. Okay, so there's a few rows done. This will probably take quite a while, so I think I'm going to put a cut in there. So thank you all for joining. I hope you join me again next time. Please leave a like if you like the video. Consider subscribing if you want to see more of this kind of content. And leave a comment if you have any comments on what I've been doing, what you like, what you don't like, and so forth. So, yeah, hope to see you again next time. Have a good night.